Well, good morning, Australia, and good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We just want to say a huge, big welcome to you, and thank you to all the Aussies for getting up so early. I know it's only 7:30 here. Many of you are on your way to work, and thank you for tuning in. We've already got a record number of people on here, which is super exciting. So, guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Charlotte Venter. I'm one of the Livantage distributors and based on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. Absolutely love what this company stands for, and I love what our products do for people. You know, seeing people's lives change daily is just so encouraging and inspiring. So today we have a super special guest on here, Joanne Shearer. Now, Shearer Parkin. So guys, we haven't yet had a dietitian speak to us and give us her opinion or their opinion about Protandim. And so today for me, it is just such an exciting moment to be able to hear what a dietitian and a nutritionist thinks about our product. So let me tell you a little bit about Joanne. She's an absolute trendsetter when it comes to dietitian. And Joanne was an early adopter of several food and nutritional trends, including the glycemic index for blood sugar control, whole and organic foods, as well as natural health and dietary supplements. So Joanne made history in hospital food service by being the first to adopt a Mediterranean diet in a hospital. How amazing. You know, that's what I call leaving a legacy. She's really made her mark in this world as a dietitian. So Joanne has a diverse background in nutrition. Her positions include public health nutritionist, long-term care consultant, nutrition support dietitian. She's a certified diabetes educator. Wow. She's a dietary supplement educator. She's a clinical nutrition manager and a food service director. Gosh, I thought I was busy. Joanne, you must be super busy having all these titles and all these functions. So Joanne has held numerous leadership positions, both within her state, Dietetic Association, and with the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So guys, Joanne is now self-employed. She's the president of JSP Global. She has her own home-based sales and marketing business, and her business is focused now on this new medical breakthrough called NRF2 activation, which is what you're going to hear about today. It's also focused on nutrigenomics and the products of that, and that basically means how can we take nutrition and affect our genes to do what they're meant to do. And she's also an anti-aging nutrition. Joanne travels extensively throughout the United States, opening new markets and helping thousands of independent distributors with Livantage launch their business, expand and grow, and really influence this world. So Joanne, a massive welcome from Australia, and we can't wait to hear you.
Well, thank you, Charlotte, and thank you, Guy, for inviting me to be on. I'm just very excited to be hailing from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, USA. I live here in the summertime, and it gets a little chilly here in the winter, a lot of snow. So we also, my husband and I, have a home in Arizona where we live about 7-8 months of the year. So right now I'm in my summer home in South Dakota, and it's actually a beautiful, lovely day here, about 85 degrees. So I'm just really excited here to be able to just speak with your group here and talk a little bit about why I am just so super excited about Livantage, and kind of tell you my story and why, as a registered dietitian and a nutritionist, that why I joined this company, and just you know, just about my adventure with Livantage and what it has done for me, what it's done for so many people that I know and that I love. And so just as I'm going to take you back to 2011, in January 2011. And it was really a very sad time in my life, a time of great, deep sorrow and loss. My husband of 32 years had just passed away the year before from brain cancer. And so it was kind of that time in my life where reality was starting to sink in about, you know, moving forward and going on with life without my husband. But one of the things that really rocked my world when he died was that he died from stage 4 brain cancer. You know, my husband was a very healthy man. He ate all the healthy foods I put in front of him. He actually took a handful of, dietary supplements every day, his vitamins and all those things that we thought, was really, really good for us. And anyway, so he was doing all that and everything that he could. He was lean, he was fit. He had just finished remodeling a house. So it was a shock to me when he was diagnosed with brain cancer and died a year later. And, it was at that point that it dawned on me that we needed more powerful tools in the nutrition tool chest to help people combat oxidative stress, the stress and the damage done to our bodies by toxic molecules, because that's what I feel that really contributed to my husband's brain cancer, was oxidative stress from all kinds of environmental chemicals. And so it was at this point in my life when Dr. Mark Gordon, cardiologist that I work with at the Avera Heart Hospital here in Sioux Falls, at the time I was head dietitian at this cardiovascular specialty hospital where we both worked. Now, Dr. Mark Gordon was a cardiologist I highly respected, and he was really highly respected in the community. He invited me to a LifeVantage presentation. And the minute that I saw that Protandim Nerve 2, our flagship product, could lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days with just one pill a day, I was immediately on board with both the product and also with the company. I signed up as a distributor because Dr. Gordon said this was the only way I was going to be able to get it out to my family and friends. He said I needed to get out there and share this story. And so that's what I did. I really had a full plate. As you could imagine, middle manager in the hospital. I was running my husband's rental business. And I was in leadership positions in my association. Anyway, I just, like many people, had a very full plate. But I am so glad that I said yes that day, because that day when I said yes, 6.5 years later, has turned into literally a multi-million-dollar business for me now. This year I'll probably be running in total revenue close to $6 million and product volume through my business. And so back in 2011, I decided to get started, and that's what I did. I just sent out the ABC Primetime news piece clip. I started sharing this with others, and like I said, it grew into this wonderful business. So it's interesting, thinking back, when my husband passed away in January 2011, I was wondering, if I would ever be able to retire, because I needed an extra $2,000 a month in my retirement account to retire comfortably in retirement. And I was looking at having to work in my windowless office until I was in my middle 70s. And it was a depressing thought. And so it was amazing how this came to me, and how within a year, I had met my initial goal of that $2,000 a month. And then pretty soon, within another year, I had surpassed my income. My LifeVantage income had surpassed my heart hospital income. So it was a no-brainer that I would pull the plug and retire early and walk out of that hospital. And it was a great day for me. And that's what I've been doing. So since October 2012, I've been full-time with LifeVantage. I don't consider it full-time. It really is just freedom. And I would say probably more like I'm semi-retired. It's part-time business for me at this point. I mean, what it is, I'm still working, but I love having total control of my time. And money is not an issue anymore for me, because LifeVantage is very generous in paying the distributors. Of every dollar that our company generates in revenue, they send almost 50% or 50 cents on every dollar back to the distributors in commissions and bonuses. And so this is a great lucrative business with a great business plan. And so you're probably wondering, again, what was it that I really saw, in LifeVantage, and what really was it? Of course, really what captured my attention and really why I joined the company was because of our flagship product, Protandim Nerve 2. When I saw this, I saw it truly as a breakthrough in nutrition, because when I started at the Avera Heart Hospital in 2000 and 2001, I had done extensive research on cardiovascular nutrition and looking at, what and cardiovascular disease, what is really fueling all this cardiovascular disease. And through my research, I found out that the leading theory on why we get heart disease and cardiovascular disease is because of something called oxidative stress. I learned in 2000 that a toxic molecules called free radicals that damage our cellular structures that causes most of the chronic diseases of aging. I learned that back in 2000. And what happens in heart disease is that those toxic molecules will damage your cholesterol particles. And when that happens, that's when the cholesterol sticks as plaque. So you can have a lot of cholesterol floating around in your body, and the bad cholesterol, LDL, it's not necessarily going to be harmful to you unless it's oxidized. And that's what leads to heart disease. So when Dr. Gordon showed this to me it was a no-brainer that I would join the company and get the word out. Because I remember going back to, my husband died, remember? I said, we need more powerful tools in the nutrition tool chest. Because my husband had been exposed to a lot of oxidative stress through every occupation that he had. He was in farming and ranching when he was younger, and then he was in the military and over in Vietnam and exposed to Agent Orange. And then he had another occupation where he was exposed to heavy metals, neurotoxins. And so all of that added up, all of that was sources, all those chemicals were sources of oxidative stress and damaging his body and no doubt causing mutations in his DNA. And so I thought, so when I saw this, I thought, oh my goodness, what if you combined the Mediterranean diet, which I learned was the best dietary pattern for lowering oxidative stress? What if you combined that with this pill? What a powerful combination. Your Mediterranean diet and one pill of protandim a day. And then it would be more potent and powerful than anything in that handful of supplements that my husband was taking every day. That protandim nerve 2 pill could replace a lot of that. And so I believe, and I know that Dr. Gordon, my enroller, we both believe this, and the science is proving it to be true, that we have a medical and a scientific breakthrough on our hands. Now remember, when I started back in 2011, we had 7 research studies. 7. I was so impressed because I knew from my work and study and learning about dietary supplements that it was very difficult to get high quality, peer-reviewed, independently funded studies on dietary supplements. That was just, the science for many of the supplements just was not out there. So then when I saw that we had 7 studies, high quality studies, I was impressed. Now think about that, it was 2011. And now today we have 26 studies just on protandim nerve 2. And this is amazing. So what I think about is back in 2011 when I heard Dr. Joe McCord on that video. Do you remember when he said at the end, he says that, I don't claim this pill is going to cure or treat any of your diseases, and I can't guarantee that it's going to extend your life. But guess what? We can make that claim now. We can make the claim that protandim nerve 2 extends lifespan. Because in 2016, the United States government funded a study on protandim nerve 2. And what this study found was that protandim nerve 2 is the only dietary supplement that was studied that extended lifespan. That is amazing, because the U.S. government has funded for 13 years a number of studies on different supplements and drugs, and found out that of all the supplements, protandim nerve 2 stood out way above the rest in terms of extending lifespan by 7%, which translates into 5 years in human years. And to think about that, they also found that protandim nerve 2 is better when it's taken earlier in life. Obvious, makes sense. Getting that oxidative stress down earlier in life it's just, don't wait until the gray-haired researcher said in the video. Don't wait until you're 80. Take it earlier in life, and it improves quality of life. Okay, so Charlotte, what other things would you like me to touch on? What do you have anything you want me to cover? Go ahead.
Joanne, maybe if you can explain the difference between taking antioxidants in terms of whole foods and what Protandim does, because we often get the objection and people will say, I don't need Protandim because I eat really healthy and I take some antioxidant supplement.
Okay. All right. That's good, Charlotte. Thank you. There's a huge difference between Protandim Nerf 2 and your antioxidants that you're taking in your pills. Protandim Nerf 2 works very differently. When Protandim Nerf 2 first came on the market, and ABC Primetime News piece, when they first aired that video, we didn't know that Protandim Nerf 2 was actually this Nerf 2 activator. And it was only until about 3 years later. Well, why is that important? Well, it's critically important because the difference is that Protandim, it isn't supplementing your diet with vitamins or minerals or antioxidants. The Protandim Nerf 2 is doing, it is activating your body to make antioxidants. And the antioxidants that you make, that your cells make, are up to 1 million times more powerful than what you can get in a handful of those antioxidants that you take in a pill or your antioxidants in foods, right? So huge difference. So the antioxidant enzymes, some of them are glutathione, superoxide dismutase, catalase, and you don't need to know all those terms, but they're very potent. They're huge molecules. And what they do is that they gobble up these free radicals, these toxic molecules. They gobble them up before they can hurt and damage your body. So a good analogy is this. So your vitamin C tablet, one molecule of that vitamin C is going to neutralize one free radical, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But with Protandim Nerf 2, one molecule of one of these antioxidant enzymes can destroy and neutralize up to 1 million free radicals. So really, Protandim Nerf 2 versus the antioxidant you're taking, it's 1,000,000 to 1. It's up to 1 million times more potent and powerful than that antioxidant that you're taking. And this Nerf 2 pathway that's upregulated by Protandim, that's increased and activated, is the most potent anti-aging pathway in the human body. And the NIH study, or the US government study, validated the anti-aging benefits of Protandim Nerf 2. Whereas they had studied other antioxidants, they had studied turmeric, green tea extract, resveratrol. They didn't extend lifespan because they don't upregulate Protandim Nerf 2 like Protandim does, right? So that is validation that Protandim Nerf 2 is inherently, significantly much more potent and powerful than anything you could take in a vitamin or mineral pill.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm putting this little yellow pill into my body every day, aren't you?
Absolutely, I am. I can tell you that. I'm going to be 68 next week, and I've been on Protandim Nerf 2 for 6.5 years. And and so, so it's been great for me personally. I feel like it has, you talk about anti-aging, I feel like I'm healthier now than I was 6.5 years ago. So anyway, but we have other products in our product catalog. I mean, not just, Protandim Nerf 2 is our flagship product. Of course, we're super pumped and excited about that because there's nothing on the market that compares to our Protandim Nerf 2. We also have this same active ingredients that are in Protandim Nerf 2. We have that in a skincare system. So you're getting an inside-outside approach. So our company is first to market with Nerf 2 activation skincare system. That's amazing. That's what I use. My husband uses that. It has been, we both have incredible benefit for our skin and the health of our skin. We have brain performance drink for our brain to help our brain work better. reduce the stress in our brain. So different than anything on the market in that energy drink category. We have Pet Tandem for dogs, which is, we see results so quickly with the dogs because they have 7 times the oxidative stress. So wonderful chewable tablet for our canine friends. We have a physique weight management system. Oh my gosh, I could talk for another hour just about that. And just the results we're seeing with our weight management system products that are just really science-based again. And that's really what I love about the company. And as a dietitian and nutritionist is that we have that scientific validation. Like I said before, that's just so missing and with so many of the products of dietary supplements that I've seen in the past. But very much a science-based company. And one of the things that Charlotte talked about when she introduced me was she talked about how I'm so excited about nutrigenomics and how our company is at the forefront of that. And just what exactly is nutrigenomics? Nutrigenomics is modifying gene expression with nutrition. Protandim Nerve 2, and we also have a new companion product that we just introduced a year ago called Protandim Nerve 1. These products turn down the bad genes and they turn on and upregulate the good survival genes. So the nutrients in these pills are have a nutrigenomic effect on your body. They turn off the bad genes and turn on the good ones. And that's really the future, and where I think nutrition and dietary supplements are going is looking at how we can actually get down to the root cause of disease, not just take a pill and put a Band-Aid on it, but get down to the root cause of disease and what is causing disease and being able to modify gene expression. There was a study published in 2011 on Protandim Nerve 2 that was really amazing that showed in colon cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and cardiovascular disease that Protandim Nerve 2 actually did that, validated it, that it turned off the bad genes that got expressed in these diseases and turned on the good ones. So yeah, nutrigenomics, remember that term. You're going to hear a lot more about it, and our company is really at the forefront of this with our product line.
Gosh, I love that analogy. Well, just the turning off the bad ones,
questions,
turning on the good ones. How amazing is that? Jan, there's a number of questions, and before I do, Jan, before I mention some of the questions, I would like to just mention to our guests on here and to our distributors that as a company, we will never, ever claim that Protandim will cure, heal, mitigate, or prevent any disease. Every person's story is different. Everybody is different. We do know what Protandim does. It reduces oxidative stress. It helps you sleep. It reduces pain in the body, and it increases energy. And it does have a lot of other effects on people, but we can never, ever claim that it's going to cure, prevent, heal, or mitigate any disease. So a couple of questions in here, Joanne. The first one is...
I'm starting to see the questions there,
Charlotte. Oh, sure, yeah. So the first one is...
questions about turmeric.
Yeah. Did you see the one about I make my own golden paste? How does it... And it helps with my pain, right? So turmeric is a big word nowadays in the world. Yes. And how does Protandim work better than me just making my golden paste of turmeric?
Turmeric it's a great, awesome, wonderful ingredient and nutrient food. It's of course it's like a whole food. It's a spice. But turmeric, which curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. Curcumin is been shown to have a range of health benefits, which is wonderful. But it's not as potent as Protandim Nerve 2. It has some. Because we're looking at what we're doing is we're really looking at this nerve 2 pathway is what we're looking at with our product line, with our products, and looking at modifying the gene expression. Protandim with turmeric, they've actually in the 2008 study, there's some healthcare professionals or some science geeks out there. You can go look at the 2008 study where actually Dr. Joe McCord looks at the nerve 2 activation of all of the ingredients in Protandim, of which one of those is curcumin, turmeric in one of the ingredients. And you'll see that it has a little bit of that NRF2 activation in it. But when you put turmeric with those other 5 ingredients, you get an 1,800% increase in the NRF2 activation and the benefit from that product. So yes, I would say if you're taking turmeric, you can continue to take it. And I would say take it apart 2 hours apart from the Protandim NRF2. And you can certainly do both, but Protandim NRF2 is really significantly more potent and powerful. And if you can go to PubMed.gov and you can look and type in Protandim, you can just type in NRF2 or there's another website called nerf2science.com. Read about the NRF2 pathway, NRF2. And that, once you read that, start understanding that. I identified 12 different distinct health benefits of activating that pathway, one of which is lowering oxidative stress. So yes, and you can continue if you want to continue, but I think what you're going to find, I think you're going to find that Protandim NRF2 really works even better than turmeric alone.
Awesome. Thanks, Joanne. So another question is, has it been shown that taking large amounts of antioxidant supplements can be damaging?
Yes. Yes, that's true. There are some research, there's some research out there is that when you take large amounts of direct antioxidants, that's the antioxidants in your supplements, and you take that in a pill, that if you don't use all those antioxidants, that they can convert over and become pro-oxidants, almost like a free radical themselves. Also, the problem with taking those direct antioxidants in high doses that I know from nutrition is that antioxidants actually work in synergy with other nutrients. So antioxidants don't work alone. They work along with other nutrients. And so when you take a high dose of just a single antioxidant particularly, it can upset the balance and the ratio of other antioxidants and nutrients. And sometimes when you do that and take certain supplements in high doses without others, and antioxidants one of those, you can actually cause a depletion of others. It's actually pretty complicated. You think about how food, like whole foods, and how that works. That's like Protandim. I would consider it more of a whole food product. It's a concentrated salad in a pill. And so, that's one thing, and that's what's unique about about Protandim NRF2.
That's absolutely amazing. Joanne, another question is, what other supplements do you recommend people take with Protandim? I often get this question with new customers as well, is I'll say to them, well, what are you taking now? Because a lot of people take stuff that actually does nothing, and it's just costing them money, true? So, I've seen and I've done my own little studies to see just sort of a cheap, no-name brand multivitamin, does it actually dissolve? How quickly does it dissolve? What's the quality of the product? And it's scary. I've done my own tests, and I've seen tests where that tablet 36 hours later is still lying in the bottom of the glass. So what do you recommend to, if people are on all these different things, what do they take with Protandim?
Okay, that's a really good question because, first of all, I'm going to say, I'm not trying to, this is not a cop-out, but I really want to say that it really, really depends upon the age of the person, what kinds of disease states they have. And so, but I'm going to talk about for general health. And of course, I would say besides Protandim NRF1 and NRF2, which I really feel like that's foundational, everybody should take that. Another foundation product that everybody should take would be a probiotic for your gut. Because right now, a healthy gut is critically important because 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut. And your gut communicates with your brain. And we know that now the healthy gut even impacts disorders in the brain like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, Parkinson's, all those brain disorder diseases. So it's just critically important to have a healthy gut. And of course, our probiotic from Life Anti-Age is really superbly different and better than anything I've seen, because it's encapsulated. So the probiotic bacteria are going to survive the stomach acid, and it's time release. It's so cool, this technology, and that's built into our probiotic. It's going to actually get down into your large intestine where you really need the probiotic bacteria. It's guaranteed to do that. Plus the additive ingredient of Wellmune beta-glucans. It's amazing. So you would want to take, the Protandim Nerve 1 and 2, the probiotic. And then besides that, I take vitamin D. I just find I measure my levels. I need more. Anybody who lives in a climate where we are in northern latitudes, we need vitamin D. I take a high dose fish oils. I take one little B complex vitamin as you get older. You need a little more B vitamins. So I take that. I take a DHEA capsule for it varies. It depends on your age. If younger people, you're not going to need that, again. So I think that it just depends on a lot of the factors. I believe people, for example, with diabetes should be taking extra magnesium, for example. Depends on your health condition.
So, Joanne, I've seen Dr. Joe McCord. He was asked the same question on a video that I watched, and he said, this is looking at the average sort of younger kind of person that's a healthy person, Protandim, and a really good multivitamin. That was his recommendation. So do you
really good multivitamin? I think, again, I don't take a multivitamin. I take my B complex because I know that's what I need. But there is nothing wrong with a really good multivitamin. That would be just fine too.
Awesome. Okay, there's so many questions. I'm going to quickly read through this one. This lady says, I have a friend seeing her naturopath integrated health specialist who's helping her with her leaky gut. So she's obviously had a problem with leaky gut. She said it's a great pill, so talking about Protandim, but it doesn't go with her body as it's reacting to salicylate, and the pill is full of turmeric. So she says that she should suggest that this lady stops because it also because of the caffeine in it. So what should she say? Because this person really wants to continue on Protandim. So is this one of those cases where you really can't judge because you don't know her history? Or what would you say to somebody who has a leaky gut? Is Protandim a good option?
Well, yes, absolutely. Because, most people with leaky gut have inflammation, and that's part of the leaky gut. And so Protandim Nerve 2, when it turns down and turns down the oxidative stress, inflammation also comes down at the same rate. So you're getting for people with leaky gut, it would actually be Protandim Nerve 2 would be a great product and could help that. I have a history of leaky gut myself. And so Protandim Nerve 2 has been fantastic for me. And so I've had many gut issues.
Okay.
It's my one little health challenge I've had.
Awesome. See, you've been lucky if you've only had one. And I must tell you, for your age, oh my gosh, I was so shocked when you said, you're 67?
67, I'll be 68 next week.
My goodness. Well, happy birthday. So long. Can you overactivate nerve 2?
No, you can't. A nerve 2 has a pulsatile effect. It will go up and then it goes down. And if you give more, it's kind of like called rate limiting. So if you give more Protandim Nerve 2, it's not going to. Take more Protandim, it's going to bump up and hit a ceiling, and it's not going to keep increasing. So no, you can't overactivate it. Not with Protandim Nerve 2.
Awesome. I've had that question myself quite a few times, so I'm so glad to hear that. We're going to just do 2 more questions here. So Will Protandim have a negative effect on a person with GORD?
With gout? A person with gout?
GORD, G-O-R-D, is that GORD? I'm not sure what that even is, but it just says, will it?
GERD, G-E-R-D, GERD.
Yes,
yes.
Yep,
GERD,
yep.
reflux, heartburn.
Reflux, that's it, yeah.
That's very soft reflux.
Because I think turmeric,
GERD.
yeah, I think turmeric can sometimes cause that reflux, right? So does Protandim affect that?
No, anything with GERD, with reflux, is going to be very, very individual, according to the individual person. And so Protandim Nerve 2 is I've got literally hundreds of people with GERD that are taking Protandim Nerve 2, and it hasn't exacerbated it. It hasn't worsened that condition at all. So yes, people with GERD definitely take Protandim Nerve 2.
What great news. Gosh, this product just blows me away every day. Last question, Joanne. We so much appreciate your time. I can't stress that enough. But last question we'll quickly cover. And this lady is saying, have you had experience with clients who have had bariatric surgery, and what is your recommendation for them to be on Protandim, and why will it help?
Yes, that would be great. Protandim would be a great product for them. They could certainly, because if you've had bariatric surgery, chances are people that have higher oxidative stress, and also the benefits of activating that nerve 2 pathway. Also in the long term, what it can do with taking that oxidative stress down and keeping it low over years, absolutely be so fantastic for someone who's had the surgery. And also we know that Protandim Nerve 2 turns down the genes that promote scarring and scar tissue, which is also a concern with bariatric surgery. So it would be whatever they're doing currently with their pills that they're taking now. If it's a recent surgery, chances are they're going to have to grind the pill. They'll have to crush it maybe, and take it maybe in some applesauce or something like that. However, they're currently taking tablets. So, you would just want to follow that same process and procedure.
Joanne,
certainly would be great.
Thank you. Do you know of any other tests besides T-bars? Besides the T-bar test to test your oxidative stress, is there any other test?
Yeah, to reduce. Okay, to measure oxidative stress, there is another test that I know that they use to measure oxidative stress. I think it's called MBA, and I'm not exactly sure what that stands for. But as you can imagine, T-bar test, as far as I know, is still the most scientifically valid measure for measurement of oxidative stress. And of course, the T-bar test, when you think about what is T-bar test, what are they actually measuring? They're measuring the oxidation of blood and blood products, right? So the reason why it's only really been done in research setting is because if you have to draw that blood and then you have to freeze it and you have to ship it across 1,000 miles, all the handling of the blood, if it gets exposed to oxygen anywhere along the line, it can skew the results. And so right now, the test has really been done only in the research settings where they're in the lab, they draw the blood, they run the test. Because most clinics, at least in the United States, most clinics, even laboratories, don't offer that test. They're specialized laboratories, and you have to send the blood off. Okay. So we do have the research studies that you can go to that shows whether it's a dog, whether it's a mouse, and whether it's a human, that Protandim Nerve 2 lowers that oxidative stress. So when it comes to that measuring, we trust the research in that respect. Okay. So did I answer that question? Am I hearing you?
Guys, I just want to say a huge big thank you to Joanne. I think we've lost her, but I just want to say a huge big thank
I'm
you
here.
for. Are you back? Oh, awesome. Joanne,
Thank you.
we're going to wrap up with this last little question is, do you ever not recommend Protandim to somebody? Do you ever say, look, I don't think you should be using it?
Well, of course, I follow the guidelines from our company, and that is that anybody who's had a solid organ transplant probably should not take Protandim because it actually does boost your immune system, so it does help, which is a good thing for about 99.9% of people, except if you've had a solid organ transplant. That would be the one that's the only one I can think of where you shouldn't take it. I just cannot think of many other conditions, anything. The big question we get is about people taking blood thinners. And so with the newer blood thinners out there, that is not a problem. But if people are on the older blood thinner, Coumadin, they can still take Protandim Nerve 2 if they're taking Coumadin, but they would need to have their INR, which is a measurement of their clotting time. They need to have that measured about 3 to 4 days after they start the Protandim. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Look, you go and have a wonderful evening. I think it is there by you. Thank you again so much from the whole of Australia and everybody else that's tuned in globally. We've had about 50 people on here listening to you. And the comments I see all the time, this has answered so many of our questions. We're so grateful. Thank you so, so much. We really appreciate it. And we would love to have you on in the future once again. So thank you from all of Australia. Thank you to our guests and to our distributors as well. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. So, guys, this meeting, pleasure, Joanne. This meeting is officially wrapped, guys. Thank you.